Imagine this. It's a Sunday afternoon, the air filled with the clatter of plates and the hum of families gathered around steaming trays of comfort food. Buffets were once the heart of American dining. Piles of fried chicken, creamy mac, and cheese, and desserts that felt like a warm hug. But somewhere along the way, many of these all-you-can-eat havens lost their magic. Join us on the hidden menu as we take a nostalgic journey through the buffet world, uncovering what went wrong with some and celebrating the few that still shine. Grab a plate and let's dive into this story of feasts, flops, and fond memories. Buffet. For one, avoid. Golden Corral. Golden Corral was once the king of buffets, a place where families flocked for endless plates of comfort food. Kids piled their plates high, parents loved the value, and everyone left with full bellies and happy hearts. But walk into a Golden Corral today, and the magic feels like a distant memory. The scene is chaotic, plates clanging, kids darting around, and food sitting under heat lamps far too long. That fried chicken, it's lukewarm, greasy in all the wrong ways, missing the crispy snap that once made it legendary. The mac and cheese, once a creamy dream, can taste watery, like someone cut corners with milk powder. Even the desserts, those sugary treasures of childhood, often taste like they rolled straight off a freezer truck. What happened to the Golden Corral we loved? It's a classic case of growing too big, too fast. As the chains spread across the country, quality took a back seat. To quantity, former employees confess that much of the food arrives frozen or pre-packaged, with staff just reheating and refilling trays. No heart, no soul. The home-style cooking that drew crowds faded into assembly line efficiency. And then there's the price. Golden Corral still markets itself as a budget-friendly feast, but customers often leave feeling shortchanged, paying more for food that tastes like a microwave meal. The charm that made it a family tradition has dimmed, leaving regulars longing for the days when every bite felt special. Sure, some locations still try to keep the spark alive, and you might luck out with a fresh dish if you time it right, but too often, Golden Corral is more about filling up than savoring the flavor. So tell me, do you still hold fond memories of Golden Corral? Or has the magic fizzled out for you? Buffet number 2, avoid. Old Country Buffet. Next up is a name that once meant Sunday afternoons and endless comfort. Old Country Buffet. This was the spot where families gathered, loading trays with fried chicken, stuffing, green beans, and warm dinner rolls that filled the air with their buttery scent. It wasn't fancy, but that was the charm. An all-you-can-eat slice of the American dream. For a while, it was perfect, affordable, hearty, and homey. But as the years rolled on, the cracks started to show, and soon, those cracks became closures. In its later days, Old Country Buffet felt like a shadow of itself. Trays sat half empty, the food looked tired, and the staff struggled to keep up. Those mashed potatoes that once tasted like grandma's recipe, often just a powdered mix. The meats, once juicy and rich, turned dry and flavorless under heat lamps. Even the dessert bar, once a kid's paradise of pies and soft serve, felt like an afterthought. The decline wasn't just about the food. The whole vibe changed. The bustling, joyful dining rooms grew quiet, even gloomy, as customers stopped coming back. Competition from newer restaurants and casual dining chains didn't help, and soon, Old Country Buffet was fading from cities across America. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? A place tied to birthday dinners, post-church lunches, and casual, family nights, gone like a childhood friend. Some still defend it, saying it was cheap and filling, and that's true. If quantity was all you wanted, it delivered. But we craved more than full stomachs. We wanted meals that felt loved, moments worth remembering. Old Country Buffet couldn't keep up, and that's the saddest part of all. So, here's a fun one. Did you ever eat so much at Old Country Buffet that you swore you'd never touch food again? Buffet number 3, avoid. Hometown Buffet. Now, let's talk about Hometown Buffet. the spot your grandma might have called her favorite. A cozy neighborhood haven where families gathered after church, seniors enjoyed a discounted night out, and kids balanced plates of mac and cheese and pizza with glee. It felt safe, familiar, like a warm embrace. But over time, that embrace grew stale, and Hometown Buffet went from welcoming to wilted. The biggest complaint? Freshness, or the lack of it. Walk in, and you'd find salad bars with limp lettuce, fried chicken that looked exhausted, and sides that tasted like they'd been reheated one too many times. What was once a vibrant spread started to feel like a cafeteria line, more obligation than indulgence. The atmosphere didn't help. The buzzing energy of laughing families and kids, with soft-serve cones faded into empty dining rooms, and a sense that no one cared anymore. It's hard to enjoy a buffet when it feels like you're eating yesterday's leftovers. Rising costs and competition from fresher sit-down restaurants hit hard. What once felt like a steal started to feel like a waste, especially when you could get a better meal elsewhere for a similar price. The nostalgia lingers, memories of birthdays or piling plates high, but too many left thinking, this just wasn't worth it. Most hometown buffets are gone now, leaving behind bittersweet memories of a community staple that couldn't keep up. So, was Hometown Buffet ever your family's Sunday go-to, or did you skip it for something better? Buffet number 4, avoid. Ryan's. Buffet down in the South and Midwest, Ryan's Buffet was once a shining star of Southern comfort. Families lined up for fried chicken that rivaled Sunday suppers, cornbread that felt like it came from your aunt's kitchen, and roast beef that stole the show. It was hearty, affordable, and all you can eat. A dream come true. But like so many buffet tales, Ryan's shine faded, turning a Southern favorite into a Southern letdown. Walk into a Ryan's in its later years, and you'd see the signs. Trays, half full, chicken more greasy than crispy, vegetables cooked into oblivion. The buffet that once celebrated Southern soul turned into a place people avoided. Corporate ownership didn't help, streamlining menus and swapping quality for quantity. That special touch, the feeling of hearty meals made with care, vanished, leaving behind bland, forgettable food. Word of mouth, once Ryan's biggest strength, became its downfall as disappointed customers warned others away. For many, Ryan's was the go-to for affordable, family-friendly comfort. But when the quality slipped, loyalty followed. Most locations are gone now, with the few that remain feeling like ghosts of the past. People still share stories of family meals in Ryan's glory days, but they admit the later years were a far cry from those memories. It's a classic buffet story, built on comfort, undone by cutting corners. So, do you remember Ryan's at its best, or only the disappointing version that came later? Buffet number 5, avoid. Sizzler. Sizzler was once a buffet lover's paradise, promising the best of both worlds. A juicy steak on one side, an endless buffet on the other. It felt like affordable indulgence, a place where families on a budget could enjoy a sirloin and then hit the salad bar, pasta, and desserts. For a while, it was a winning formula, but in its later years, Sizzler became a lesson in broken promises. The penny steaks, meant to be the star, often arrived tough, overcooked, or just plain bland. The buffet, which should have saved the day, wasn't much better. The salad bar, once a point of pride, shrank into limp lettuce, bland dressings, and toppings straight from a bulk bin. Pasta clumped together, sauces tasted canned, and the dessert table rarely delivered on its colourful display. Sizzler's biggest problem was its identity crisis. Was it a steakhouse or a buffet? It never fully committed to either, and in a world where mediocrity doesn't cut it, customers noticed. Cost-cutting made things worse. Employees shared stories of frozen meats and pre-packaged sides, with less focus on fresh in-house cooking. The sizzle that gave the chain its name became more marketing than reality. Families who once made Sizzler a special night out started looking elsewhere, and the chain faded from household name to nostalgic footnote. Some locations linger, but but they're a shadow of what Sizzler once was. So, was Sizzler's salad bar ever a treat for you, or always a letdown in disguise? Buffet, number 6. Avoid. Sirloin Stockade Saddle Up for Sirloin Stockade, a cowboy-themed buffet that promised the spirit of the American West. Big steaks, hearty sides, and family-friendly prices. In small towns across the Midwest and South, it was a hit, blending steakhouse pride with buffet variety. But over time, that cowboy charm wore thin, and Sirloin Stockade became a tale of inconsistency and disappointment. One visit, you might get a juicy, flavorful steak. The next, a dry, tough cut that felt like a betrayal. The buffet, meant to make up for the gamble, often fell flat. Green beans were cooked to mush, potatoes tasted like they came from a box, and gravies leaned on salt instead of soul. While competitors embraced fresher options or global flavors, Sirloin Stockade stayed stuck in the past. Meat, potatoes, and not much else. Comforting at first, but boring over time. The atmosphere didn't help. The rustic cowboy vibe that once felt fun started to look dated and worn. Dining rooms felt neglected, and the sense of excitement faded. Loyal fans stuck around for nostalgia or convenience, but when fresher, better meals were available elsewhere, most moved on. Many Sirloin Stockade locations are gone now, leaving empty buildings and memories of a once proud chain. So, did you go to Sirloin Stockade for the steaks, or just to load up on sides? Buffet number 7, Avoid. Western Sizzlin'. Western Sizzlin' burst onto the scene with a bold promise. Flame-kissed steaks cooked over high heat, paired with a buffet of hearty sides. The name alone conjured images of sizzling, savory flavor, a steakhouse buffet hybrid that felt exciting and affordable. But too often, the reality was a fizzle. Steaks arrived dry, bland, or carelessly cooked, and when a place puts sizzlin' in its name, that's a promise you can't break. The buffet, which could have saved the day, rarely did. Fried foods were greasy, not crispy. Vegetables were soggy, and breads tasted like cardboard. Desserts, often frozen and forgettable, couldn't redeem the meal. Western Sizzlin' set high expectations with its branding, but delivered lifeless plates that left customers disillusioned. Corporate cost-cutting and ownership changes didn't help, shifting focus from quality to survival. The cowboy pride that once defined the chain faded into a generic buffet experience. Some small-town fans still hold on, especially where options are limited, but compared to today's fresher choices, Western Sizzlin' feels like a relic. So, when you hear flame-kissed steak, do you picture sizzling flavor or a dried-out cut under a heat lamp? Buffet number 8, Avoid. Sissy's Pizza for Kids. Sissy's Pizza Buffet was a slice of heaven. Endless rows of pizza, pasta, breadsticks, and cinnamon rolls for dessert. It was cheap, fun, and a parent's dream for feeding a hungry crew. But while the idea sparkled, the pizza often dulled the shine. Crusts were thin and bland, cheese tasted more plastic than mozzarella, and toppings were so sparse you needed a magnifying glass to find them. Lukewarm slices sat under heat lamps, prioritizing quantity over quality. Sissy's tried to compensate with variety. Taco pizza, mac and cheese pizza, even dessert pizzas dripping with frosting. But it was more gimmick than gourmet. The chaotic, messy dining rooms didn't help, with trays swapped out in a rush. It was affordable, sure, but affordability only goes so far when you leave wishing the food tasted better. Sissy's still has fans for its niche, cheap, fast, plentiful, but for anyone craving quality pizza, it's a harsh reality check. So, would you pick unlimited, low-quality pizza over one perfect slice, or is one enough for you? Buffet, or 9, Avoid. Ponderosa Steakhouse. Ponderosa Steakhouse was once royalty, a place where you could order a steak dinner and still wander to the buffet for sides and desserts. It was the best of both worlds, a steakhouse experience with endless variety, all at a family-friendly price. For a while, it worked like a charm. But as the years passed, Ponderosa's crown slipped. The steaks, meant to be the star, often arrived, bland or overcooked, more freezer-burned than fresh. The buffet wasn't much better. Mashed potatoes tasted powdered, vegetables were mushy, and rolls felt days old. The spread looked tired, with crusted trays and gluey gravies that killed your appetite. While competitors innovated with fresh flavors or creative menus, Ponderosa stayed stagnant, banking on outdated comfort food that no longer excited. Customers moved on, and closures followed, leaving a once-beloved chain as a nostalgic memory. Some locations linger, but they're shadows of Ponderosa's glory days. So, did you ever leave Ponderosa satisfied? Or did it always feel like a buffet trying too hard to be a steakhouse? Buffet number 10. Avoid. Sweet tomatoes. Supplantation. Sweet tomatoes, also known as supplantation, felt like a breath of fresh air in the buffet world. While others piled on fried foods and heavy meats, this chain offered vibrant salads, hearty soups, and lighter options, a haven for those craving variety without grease. Families loved the idea of a healthy buffet, but too often, the execution fell flat. The salads looked colourful, but often disappointed. Limp lettuce, recycled toppings, and dressings heavy with sugar and preservatives. Soups, meant to be comforting, were watery or overly salty. Even the breads and muffins tasted like box mixes. When you brand yourself as the healthy choice, freshness is everything, and sweet tomatoes struggled to deliver. Rising costs didn't help. Healthier buffets are pricey to run, and as prices climbed, customers wondered if it was worth it when fresher, made-to-order meals were available elsewhere. Closures hit hard, and while some still cherish memories of piling plates with salads and soft serve, the charm wore off. So, do you think a healthy buffet can work, or are buffets destined to be indulgent? Buffet, number 11, worth it. Shoney's fresh food. Bar now. Let's talk about a buffet that still brings the comfort. Shoney's fresh food bar. In a world where so many buffets have lost their way, Shoney's holds strong with its southern roots. It's not flashy, but it's honest. Hearty breakfasts, home-style lunches, and dishes that feel like they came from your own kitchen. Picture walking in to trays of fluffy scrambled eggs, perfectly crisp bacon, biscuits drowning in sausage, gravy and pancakes stacked high. It's the kind of spread that starts your day with a smile. Lunch and dinner, keep the vibe going. Crispy fried chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, fresh salads, and desserts that actually taste homemade. Shoney's doesn't chase gimmicks or overload. The menu, it sticks to simple, familiar flavors done right. That's why seniors especially keep coming back. It's like eating at home without the dishes. Sure, some locations vary, and not every dish is a masterpiece, but compared to the buffet giants that crashed, Shoney's feels like a safe bet. It's comfort over chaos, and for many, that's what a buffet should be. So what's the secret to a great buffet? Variety or sticking to simple, soulful food done right? Buffet, for 12. Worth it. Pizza. Ranch finely, let's celebrate a Midwest gem that proves buffets can still shine. Pizza Ranch. In small towns across the heartland, Pizza Ranch isn't just a restaurant, it's a community hub. Families, churches, and schools gather for crispy fried chicken, piles of pizza, and the dessert pizza that's practically a legend. It's more than a meal, it's a tradition. The pizza is straightforward. Pepperoni, sausage, veggie, and specialty. Pies that taste fresh, not mass-produced. The fried chicken. Some of the best you'll find at a buffet, with a crispy crust and juicy center that's seasoned just right. Sides like mashed potatoes, coleslaw, and green beans round out a meal that feels real, not rushed. But the star is that dessert pizza. Warm crust, topped with cinnamon sugar and icing. A sweet, nostalgic bite that kids and adults fight over. Pizza Ranch doesn't try to be everything. It focuses on comfort and consistency, and it works. The atmosphere seals the deal. Welcoming, homey, like a big family gathering. In a world where buffets stumble, Pizza Ranch stands tall by doing the basics well. So, if you're at Pizza Ranch, do you pile your plate with endless pizza or go straight For the fried chicken. Outro. The truth isn't always on the menu, from the golden days of all-you-can-eat feasts to the faded dreams of forgotten chains. Buffets tell a story of comfort, community, and sometimes cutting corners. The best ones remind us why we love them. Simple, honest food that feels like home. The worst. They leave us longing for what used to be. Share your buffet stories in the comments. Give us a like if this stirred a memory, good or bad, and subscribe to the hidden menu so you're ready for the next plate we uncover. Because the truth, it's not always on the menu.